Hi, this is Dr. Darnise, and welcome back to another episode of Dr. Darnise's House of Religion, Magic, and Conjure. Again, Happy New Year to you all. Hope it is going well for you. It is now just past the middle of January, and I hope you still are on track to, bring forth those things that you want, to manifest those things that you want to manifest. A couple of you have signed up with me to do the course, the online course on Teachable. If any more of you would like to do that course, after all, you're just going to have to email me and I'll have to get back with you, because right now I've moved on and I'm doing some working with some other clients, but I may be able to work with you if you want to just figure out how you're going to use your magic and your own African spiritualities to manifest the things that you want this year. So that's what that was about. But let's move on, because today I'm talking to you about consciousness and mass awakening. And my question for you, and what I'm thinking about is, are we really seeing a mass spiritual awakening on the planet and humanity at this point? Some are saying yes, we're going through this shift, which is why things are so difficult, because we really are shedding a lot of the old institutions, a lot of old ways of thinking, and so we see it appears to us to be like absolute chaos. So I kind of agree with that, and I was just wanting to come on here and talk about some other aspects of spirituality in that way, and go down the rabbit hole even deeper as we talk about dimensions and what exactly is the new age and that kind of thing. But so that this one video is not terribly long, I thought I would just talk maybe this is just one video of what will become many in this thing, but to talk about what I'm noticing. And I definitely think that we are moving into the fourth dimension in terms of our spiritual existence, our spiritual expansion. We have been in the realm of the 3D, the third dimension, for I don't know how long, but for long enough where we are shifting into the fourth dimensional. And that means that we're becoming more focused on things. We're becoming more compassionate. That's kind of the goal, for us to become more compassionate. And it may seem like there is no way that's what we're doing right now, because our society seems to be filled with even more hate, more division, more separation. But what's really happening is a lot of that old stuff, like I said, is being burned away, is being held up to the light, and it can't stand. It cannot withstand the light and the love that we are stepping into. We're manifesting. We're really manifesting it as human beings at this point. We are growing into the next stage of our evolution. I like to use that phrase a lot. We're growing into the next stage of our evolution as human beings. And one of the things that we recognize, those of you watching my channel, is people are turning away from traditional religions, because people are realizing these things don't mean anything to me anymore, if they ever did. I am sure that there's some deeper truth. There's something beyond, Beyond Christianity is the name of my book, but there's something beyond just the letter of the law. There's something beyond just these scriptures. There's something deeper. There's significant teachings, spiritual teachings, that I'm not getting from my minister, from my priest, from my rabbi, from my imam. So people are hungry. And I see it so much in young people, because I, live and work among young people, among college age people. And in my classes, they're extremely hungry for this information. They want to know about paganism. They want to know about indigenous religions. They want to know about African traditional religions. No one has taught them these things. They want to go beyond the veil. They want to go deeper. And these young people are bringing in a new breed, so to speak. They have a new consciousness. If you have young people in your life, you recognize they're a bit different. Now, millennials, I'm not even talking about millennials. I'm talking about people who are younger than millennials, right? In their early 18 to 22 right now. And so they are bringing in this era of where they're already done with a lot of the old ways, like the old racist ways, the old ways of intolerance and discrimination. They're already over it. Like, they just look at you like you're kind of stupid when you're talking to them about, forms of oppression and, historical forms of oppression and discriminating against somebody because they're gay or whatever. They just look at you like, what? Like, that's for real? So, and granted, I live in California, which is our own little bubble out here. But, yes, they are bringing in something that's refreshing, and it's a clue to us that, yes, we are stepping into our fourth dimensional spiritual growth here. And that means that we are being tasked to come from more of our fourth chakra, opening up our heart chakra, our heart space more. And so as a human community, that's where we're headed. That's what stepping into fourth dimensional reality is like. But we cannot take things that are not a match with us into that dimension. So that's why so much of the hatred and stuff is coming up so virulently and rampantly and viciously. It's like the old guard knows that this is the end of their way. This is the end of their way of life. It literally is the end of their way of life, and they feel it and they're afraid of it. They're terrified. And so they're hanging on, tooth and nail to the old ways. And they don't know what to do with this other energy, with these younger people, right? So, we see this in our news all the time. So yeah, people are more open to things that have been considered to be new age. So the things I talk about on here, the crystals, the herbs, the correspondences to, actually have some meaning. But it's becoming so much more commonplace. I won't say absolutely commonplace, but it's becoming so much more commonplace where, I see so much in our media now about, crystal healing and, I can't even describe it. You probably know what I'm talking about, though. You see more of it in our popular media, and that's because we as a collective have reached the place in our vibrational consciousness, vibrational beingness, that we can actually receive it and acknowledge it and make use of it. It's been here all along, right? There's nothing new about this. Our people have been telling us this forever. African people have been telling us this forever. All of these indigenous religions have known, right? So it's not that it's new, it's that for a while, the institutions came in and said, we're going to tell you what to think, we're going to tell you what to do. And now the pendulum has swung, and people are like, no, enough of that, because this is not serving me. I don't need you to tell me what to do, how to think anymore. Let me go back to my roots, my own roots, and find something that was meaningful. If it was meaningful to my great-grandmother, my grandfather, to my parents, there's probably something in there that I could at least use, right? So we venerate our ancestors because of that. We recognize that there's wisdom in that. And so now all over the world, there is an expansion of consciousness that is happening. But I will say, in terms of mass awakening, I will say, of course, it's still slow. There's still many parts of the world parts of our country even, where people are not ready to talk about these things as being a reality or a possibility of being a reality. And other parts of the world where people are not ready to talk about these things. But we don't need everybody to get to that next dimension. We need a critical mass so that there's a tipping point. Right? So I don't know what the percentage is, but let's say we need more than 50%. So if we need 55% of the population to operate at a certain vibration where we understand the validity of the things that we talk about here on my channel, then that's enough to move us forward. We're fighting it out right now. Granted, it's messy and it's ugly. We're fighting it out. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up there. I would love to hear what you have to think about, where we are as human beings, if you want to know more teachings about these dimensions and, how far down the rabbit hole do you all want to go with these teachings? Because I'm here for it. I'm up for it. Some of you have said that you want to know more about well, I don't know what you'd call it really, but early African American religions, early African American Christianities and that kind of stuff. Like, why are black people Christian? People want to know about that kind of story. Like, why did we take that on, and why are they? But I recognize I've made some videos like that before, so you can find them. More people seem to want to know about the indigenous, which again, I'm here for that. But there's so much more. I mean, there's so much more in terms of what has been called the New Age, and quantum, the quantum reality in which we live, and how does meditation help us with that? How does setting our intentions really work? What does it mean to say that we are vibrational beings? What does it mean to say that we're going to go into another age, like the Aquarian age? What does that mean for everyday human life? So, if you're interested in that kind of thing, some people want to know about aliens, alien life, what's out there, what about extraterrestrials? Yeah, anyway, so give me some comments down there. Let me know what you're thinking and what you want to see, and I'll look forward to that. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and as always, thank you for stopping by. Bye for now.